There's Gargano is very proud of is the fact that he's very rarely been stopped in all his fights. So there's Des, recovering odds in his corner.
And in the red corner, from the Yemen and the Sheffield, the Arabian Prince Naseem Hamid.
So there he is then, Naseem Hamid. From, in fact, born in Sheffield, but his parents are from the Yemen. Des Gargano, a veteran now of over 100 fights, of which he'd won a third. Naz, trained and managed by Brendan Ingle, as he had been since he was a young lad, and a natural. He can do it all, and believe me, he can hit. And prior, even before he was turning pro, don't forget, I was talking about Naz long before he turned professional, and had the displeasure of sharing a ring with him in Sheffield on one occasion. Something I shan't be too quick to repeat, believe me. So Des Gargano then, who could box either right or left hand forward. And he's boxed in very good class as Des throughout his career. Outscored by the reigning British super bantamweight champion, Richie Wenton, on point in November of, when was that, 93. Prior to this, though, Des had boxed abroad. He'd also been outpointed by Tim Driscoll. Bradley Stone, Danny Porter. And the only time that Des has had a crack at a championship was when he actually fought Nigel Crook in February of '89 in an eliminator for the Central Area Bantamweight crown. And that's the only sniff he's had, which is a great pity, really. There's a pro now since 1985, hits the floor for the second time. First couple of fights were against the man who go on to become British super featherweight champion, my old mate Sugar Jubileeru. Very early on he was boxing the likes of Pat Clinton, Sean Murphy. John Davison, of course, a couple of times, back-to-back, in fact. And one of his best recent wins came in '93 when he beat Alex Doherty on a fourth-round stoppage up in Irvine, in Scotland. Then taking his time here, just keeping Des on the move. And Des's, I suppose, joint passion, really, in life is fishing. Not a bad passion to have either. I like a bit of that when I get the time. And that's the third time that Des will hit the deck. But we've got no 3 knockdown rule in Britain, I'm very glad to say. And referee Gerald Watson, they're leading Des back to the corner. Well, of course, everyone, you can't fail to mention the likes of Wayne McCulloch when you're thinking about Naseem Hamid. Also, the man we saw earlier, Johnny Armour. And now it is ranked number 5 in the world by the Independent World Boxing Rankings. And believe me, I've got no reservations at all in saying that Naz could win several versions, in fact, several different weights he could become a world champion at. Very heavy puncher, a very smart mover. ranked above the WBO champion, Alfred Cote. He's ranked above the IBF champion, Harold Mestre from Colombia. Watson, just taking a look at this. This is round 4. So Gargano then, a veteran of over 100 professional fights, against a man having just his 5th. Gargano now managed by Jack Doughty. And Des was a former East Lancashire bantamweight champion back in 1984. And on his ABA trial, lost the former Olympic representative, John Hyland. It's a bit of amateur form there for Des. And great body shots from Naseem. They hurt, yes, we know. They hurt. And there's up at 7, but referee Watson calling it off. And that was a very painful body shot by a very talented young fighter. He gets Brasher by the week, I think you'll agree.
Beaten Alan Lay from South Wales. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this evening's boxing on behalf of National Promotions. The first contest on the program, ladies and gentlemen, is a bantamweight contest of 6 3-minute rounds between, introducing in this corner from Newport, Alan Lay.
There is the unbeaten Alan Lay, 4 fights, 4 wins, all on points.
And Sheffield, ladies and gentlemen, Naseem Hamed.
Here he is, Naseem Hamed. Well, that's not him, obviously. Naseem Hamed, unbeaten in 6 fights, 5 inside the limit. Referee, Reg Thompson.
The referee for the contest is Mr. Reg Thompson. The timekeeper is Mr. Lou Hubbard.
So, round 1 coming up then.